Where's the metronome in your track? If you're making dance music or anything that's supposed to have a rhythmical backbone, it always needs to have some kind of internal metronome that helps people understand how to dance to it. I don't think that's a very controversial statement, but sometimes when I see beginners composing, they often add all sorts of rhythmical elements, and if I ask them where their metronome is, they couldn't really tell me. They couldn't really tell you which are the essential elements that need to be in place to make sure that the audience does not get lost. And different genres usually use different metronome backgrounds. Today I want to contrast for you, for example, techno on one hand and drum and bass on the other hand. Techno usually starts with a metronome that is somehow focused around the kick and its yin-yang counterpart, the hi-hats. It goes boom, tss, boom, tss, boom, tss, boom, tss, right? So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. That's your metronome. That's your thing that goes. So in techno, it goes kick, 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 or kick, hi-hat, kick, hi-hat, kick, hi-hat, kick, hi-hat. Simple enough, but then what if you want to make drum and bass? If most techno is around 130 beats per minute, can you just speed it up to like 180 beats per minute and have drum and bass? Let's find out. Here's a little techno metronome. Is this drum and bass? This is not drum and bass. You might be like, yeah, it's about all the other sounds around it. That's not true though. What we have in drum and bass instead is a metronome that's built out of hi-hats. So at 180 beats per minute, the hi-hats are gonna hit every eighth note. They're gonna go and they're gonna be super stable so we can hold on to that. So then beneath it, the kick drum can be really syncopated and it definitely does not mark the 4 on the floor. A very typical kick pattern in drum and bass might be boom, 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 and it bounces off of the clap in like boom, clack, 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 boom, clack. And so those stable hi-hats together with those stable claps, and maybe also together with that stable first kick drum, they provide the metronome that you can always find again on the dance floor to dance to, no matter what the other sounds are. So when your compositions are getting messy, ask yourself the question, is your metronome clear? Is it clear what people are supposed to dance to? Because that's very often determined by the genre that you're working in, even if there's more going on. Let me show you an example of more going on. Let's go back to the techno example. 130 beats per minute, pretty stable. Let's add in additional percussion. You see how all these elements, these additional percussions, can be groovy, they can hit on all sorts of syncopated places, but the metronome stays the same. The metronome is not syncopated. The metronome is always pretty straight. Even if I add in all these little syncopated kick drums and stuff, it's still a 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Pretty simple, right? And keeping this techno sound design, we can go back to our drum and bass example, and as long as we continue to respect that metronome, it's all gonna sound drum and bassy. Now, it would be a missed opportunity if we didn't include another drum and bass genre staple, which is a reese bassline. Love it. I'm not used to making drum and bass if that wasn't obvious. If you wanted to take this further, you could add some break beats in the mid and high percussion, could be super dope. You could add some vocal slices from some sample packs, something from Splice, I don't know what. If you want to make it liquid drum and bass, you could really add some chords over there. You could take it a lot of different directions, but it's always going to stay drum and bass as long as that metronome is solid. And so now that you hopefully understand these concepts, I want to show you the example that kind of triggered this video, which is a little experiment by a guy called Martin Koo. You can check out his details below. Thanks for sending me this, Martin. So Martin makes techno and he had to, as a challenge, make some drum and bass, and this is what he came up with. So you see how that feels like what you would get if you take a techno idea and you just speed it up to 180 beats per minute. It still goes boom, 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 boom. And instead, if you would change the drum groove, this is kind of like taking a techno sound design aesthetic and putting it in sort of the genre of drum and bass. It's just an idea. But whatever you do, clarify your metronome for yourself. Make sure it's always clear enough so you don't lose the people on the dance floor. Leave a comment to let me know what you think of this and maybe just to show me some love. Go follow my foundations courses if you want to learn from me in a more structured context. And until next time, stay producing, be good to each other, and take care. Bye-bye.